r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What's the worst non-drug addiction you've ever seen? I have a friend whose paycheck is entirely lost to online blackjack hours after he gets it each week. It's a terrible existence. My wife wasn't to the point of addiction, but she was starting to like blackjack a little too much. When I sat her down and we talked about it, we decided she should try dealing blackjack instead. She found a job doing it within a week. It's been a year, and I think she's played maybe once since, and only because I wanted to go out and suggested it. Had a neighbor that was in her 60s. She went to the casino fairly often during the week, but limited herself to only going to Vegas once a month. She only had 2 rules for her trips to Vegas. Only bring cash. Leave a $50 bill underneath a rock at the outskirts of Vegas for gas money to get her home. It's gambling without a doubt. I read a book, and gamblers actually have a higher suicide rate than any other addict. Since sports gambling became illegal, there's a huge surge in athletes getting death threats and shit, because some degenerate lost their car betting on them. I have a close friend of mine who was a video game addict during college. He would spend all his time up in his room, just gaming from the time he woke up until he passed out in his gaming chair at like 3 AM. He was failing college classes, skipping out on parties, and hanging out with friends, and it completely took over his life. That is, until my friends and I sat him down and literally had an intervention with him about how we never see him anymore, and he broke down and admitted he was completely addicted. We came up with a system where he would turn his controllers over to us, and we would let him have them only when he proved he turned his assignment in. Pretty soon, he was gaming less and less, and ended up going to med school. He's now a doctor with a happy family, and he still will bring up how thankful he is that he had friends that had his back, instead of just letting him do his hobby. Video game addiction is real, guys. My aunt had a shopping addiction, and it was bad. When she died, it took months to sort out her things. She had so much, and she had been in severe debt for it. Heard about a woman on the local news the other day whose clothes shopping addiction had become so bad she was spending over £700 a week on clothes. She was getting into debt and had to get professional help. The irony was that on the news report she dressed really badly and had shop racks full of similar drab clothes. I always find food addiction to be the worst. As someone who's dealing and dealt with addiction, I can easily avoid alcohol or drugs, but you need food to survive. Anyone who overcomes food addiction is a badass. I would never have been able to moderate my drinking. It's pretty amazing anyone can beat their addiction while having to actively learn to control it. An older man in my gated community retired and decided to walk around the community. It was safe with plenty of shade. Walking became an obsession, probably aided by advancing dementia. He walked himself to death while the community watched. He lost so much weight he became skeletal. He finally was put into a memory care facility. Seems crazy to become addicted to something healthy that ends up killing you. Pulling out your own hair strand by strand. Mobile phone addiction. Hoarders. Lady was collecting dead cats in and out of the freezer. She had bags of cat soup in her closet. I think that takes the cake. Edit, yes, it's an especially fucked episode of Hoarders on A&E. And yes, she clearly has severe and untreated mental health issues. Sports betting. I watched a vice president from another department at my old job lose his house, cars, wife, and kids because he couldn't stop betting despite interventions. We are talking millions of dollars of debt. X was a gambler. He'd drive hours just to blow through thousands at the drop of a hat. Like draining every dollar he had to his name. Was a wild thing to see in person. Animal hoarding. Cats, guinea pigs, or dogs. Reproducing, never going to the vet, never cleaning after them. The LA guinea pig rescue recently got called out to a house in South Los Angeles, where they found over 400 guinea pigs in and around the property. Sex and pornography. Seen many marriages and lives ruined this way. My brother-in-law was addicted to masturbating. You could not leave this guy alone anywhere. Almost cost him his family. Years of therapy to get his brain right. He literally beat off everywhere all the time. I have no idea how he never got arrested. I mean, if you ran to the store together, you had to make him come in with you, so he didn't rub one out while you were inside. It was terrible. It cost him several good jobs. I was in residential drug rehab for a couple of years and got a fellow recovering addict a job where I worked. He seemed to have his head on straight, and I thought he'd do a good job. He got his first paycheck, and he went straight to the casino, blew all his money, got drunk, and thrown out of the program. He was homeless and broke again. He's probably dead by now. That was a long time ago. Self-harm. I work with people who have severe mental health conditions, including addictions of every kind. I had one client who was bright and had a quick biting sense of humor. I know we aren't supposed to have favorites, but she absolutely was one of mine. She also had zero ability to regulate her reactions to negative emotions or feelings. If something upset her, she would light herself on fire. She never wanted to, and it was the only thing that would alleviate her emotional agony. Whenever she is hospitalized for this, which is often, and for months at a time, and therefore unable to have a lighter or matches, she will bash her head on a wall. Not on a random spot on a wall, mind you. On a corner, every time. To the point where she has a permanent deep scar on her forehead which breaks open every week. Plus brain damage from the constant concussions she is giving herself. Rational her does not want to do this. She knows it's destroying her brain and devastating her family. Emotionally dysregulated her absolutely cannot stop herself. I see 350-400 pound people every day here in the Midwest. It's become so normalized to eat way more food than you actually need. The videos of iPad kids freaking out over losing their devices one way or another are wild. The coolest part about humans is they can become addicted to anything. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.